Hey everybody, welcome back to sBeat Podcast, episode 147 today. It'll be a look ahead to the Georgia-Alabama Showdown coming up next week in Athens. It's going to be under the lights at Sanford Stadium. Will it be a blackout? Georgia fans, get that Georgia gear that's in black. Get that ready as Alabama gets ready to show up. It's going to be a tough ticket. If you don't have one, you might have to get a bank loan to get in there. Best I can tell, the cheapest ticket out there is $500 to see this one. It'll be Alabama's first visit to Athens in a decade. It's been a minute. And right now, the Bulldogs listed in Vegas as a 3.5-point favorite. Both teams with the bye week, so extra time to prepare for this big SEC showdown. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk about Kirby Smart and his failures against Alabama. Kirby's record against Alabama, 1-6. Now, he's 1-5 against the GOAT, Nick Saban. 0-1 against DeBoer. Bulldogs lost that wild and crazy matchup in Tuscaloosa last year. None of those games have been in Athens that Kirby has played against Alabama. They played in Atlanta multiple times, played in Tuscaloosa, played in Indianapolis. That's the one Georgia won, the national championship game. So Kirby and the Bulldogs finally get Alabama at home at Sanford Stadium. And let me remind you, the Bulldogs still have that home winning streak going on, sitting at 33 right now, a 33-game home win streak. That's the longest in FBS, college football, and is a University of Georgia record. Coach Smart and his staff during the bye week, they've got some extra time to, number one, heal up at some critical position groups. And number two, you got a little extra time to get them coached up. So two really important factors right there. You know, as I've looked at the game and started to break it down, two things come to mind. If Georgia's going to beat Alabama, I believe two things must happen. Number one, Bulldogs are going to have to run the ball effectively. Number two, can't be allowing those big explosive plays in the passing game. You're not going to win big games giving up those explosives. So you got to get those two issues cleaned up before Alabama takes the field. So you got one problem on each side of the ball. Let's talk about the offensive side first. Got to get that right side of the offensive line. Got to get that cleaned up. And it's been nothing but a revolving door in the first 3 games of the season. At right tackle, the veteran Ernest Green, his back is still stiffening up on him, so he's got some issues going on there. I don't think those are going away this season. He's just going to have to try to fight through that. John Jackson has a bad ankle, and you got Bo Hughley, who's developing, played a really good fourth quarter up in Knoxville against Tennessee. Michael Uni has gotten some reps at the right tackle spot, also at right guard, so it's been a revolving door at right tackle. At right guard, same type of problem. You got Juan Gaston, who's been really impressive when he's been in there. He's got an ankle sprain. They played up in Knoxville, trying to fight through that. Another freshman, Dontrell Glover, has been pretty impressive when he's gotten some reps at right guard. And reportedly, he's got 2 ankles. Both ankles are bothering him. So maybe the downtime can help get those guys cleaned up. This extra prep time for these offensive linemen, number one, you got to heal up, which means you got to rest up the injury. You got to get treatment. Try to get that as close to 100% as you can before game time. B, you got to get the film study in so you're really comfortable with who you're competing against on the opposite side of the ball, their tendencies. The video study, got to get that done here with the extra time. And then you got to get practice reps. I mean, you're not going to go out and beat one of the best teams in college football without getting those practice reps. So this Georgia offensive line, these guys that are banged up, are trying to get all three of those things accomplished during this bye week. Yeah, the big key to victory offensively, Georgia got to run the ball effectively against Alabama. Florida State gashed them for 230 yards in the season opening game. The Seminole running backs had got 27 carries in that game for over 100 yards. The Florida State quarterback, Tommy Castellanos, did some damage, so pay attention to this as you look to see Gunner Stockton and some quarterback runs built into this Alabama game plan. They'll be taking a real close look at what Castellanos was able to do. Really hurt Alabama with his legs. 16 carries for 78 yards in that game. So expect Mike Bobo to have Gunner Stockton some built-in run plays in that matchup. This Alabama front seven got a little bit better against Wisconsin. Wisconsin Badger running back, 17 carries for 72 yards, a little over 4 yards a carry. So Georgia looking to get that run game going against Alabama. This Tide defensive line's legit. The starters are legit. Looking inside at the nose tackle position, Tim Keenan is a 3-year starter on the interior defensive line. He's 6'2", 326 after a big breakfast. A real run stuffer on the interior. Defensive end, local kid, L.T. Overton, has got some big-time NFL skills. Got dinged up against the Badgers, but word is he's going to play in this one. He wouldn't miss this game. You know that. He'll be ready to go. So the Alabama defensive front's legit. Quality depth is a concern for Alabama on the defensive line. So the Dogs' priority, get that run game going against Alabama. Let's flip it over and take a look at the concern on the defensive side of the ball. Georgia's got to get this cleaned up. There's no question about it. You can't be allowing these explosive pass plays and expect to win these games. Like the one here against Alabama. Tennessee volunteer wide receiver Chris Brazzell torched Georgia up in Knoxville. And so you know the spotlight's going to be shining brightly on this cornerback position opposite of Dalen Everett. Dalen Everett back against Tennessee and really played well in that game. It's the other boundary cornerback that's a real problem coming into the Alabama game. You got Daniel Harris, and you got Ellis Robinson. They're going to be facing some game-breaking talent as far as these Alabama receivers go. Ryan Williams torched us last season. Big-time game in Tuscaloosa. And now they've added Germie Bernard, who's got some big play skills. Really a really good-looking Alabama receiving core that Georgia's going to be up against here next Saturday night. So how does co-defensive coordinator T-Rob, Travaris Robinson, and defensive back coach Dante Williams, how do they get Harris and Robinson coached up during the 2 weeks leading into the game? Both of these guys effectively can turn and run with the receiver. That's not a problem. They both have long arms, which can help defend some of these passes. They appear to have ball skills, but both had real issues in Knoxville locating the ball and making a play on the ball. So this is a huge concern coming into the Alabama game. Bama's going to try to target both these guys, whoever's going to be on the field, opposite of Dalen Everett. So Alabama's offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, his game plan for quarterback Ty Simpson, I just guarantee is going to be look at the boundary corner opposite Everett, and let's find out who that's going to be. Is it going to be Daniel Harris? We'll attack him. Is it going to be Ellis Robinson? We're going to go after him. Tide has some first-round talent at the wide receivers. I mentioned Ryan Williams last year against Georgia, 6 catches, 177 yards, had that 75-yard catch and run for the touchdown that showed off his explosiveness. Germie Bernard, he's become the go-to receiver at Alabama so far this year. He's averaging over 18 yards per catch. And then they've got ex-wide receiver Isaiah Horton, a transfer from Miami, who was also a threat. The quickest way to lose these big games, give up big, explosive, vertical pass plays. Can't afford to be doing that and expect to win. Coach T-Rob and Coach Williams, I'm sure, are busy giving Daniel Harris and Ellis Robinson a lot of down-the-field reps during practice leading into the game, focused on trying to improve their ball skills. And specifically, when you hear that term, ball skills, is tracking the flight of the ball and making a play on the ball. That's what ball skills are. When you hear somebody talking about a cornerback, they track the ball well, and then they make a play on the ball very well. This is critical. And right now, at this very moment, I guarantee you in Tuscaloosa, Ryan Williams is licking his chops. He can't wait to get after Harrison Robinson. He's preparing to do some major damage on the big stage. So coverage-wise, what can you do? Well, a lot of the time, most of the time, Ryan Williams is in the slot receiver position. So it's tough to jam him coming off the line of scrimmage in the slot. Typically, what you would see defensive coverages do in a situation like this would be to roll a cornerback, have a hard corner, you roll him up on top of the receiver, Z or the X, and you have a safety over the top. And then you just rely on the other boundary corner to be able to do the job like you know Dalen Everett can do. But if Williams is going to be in the slot, it's going to make things a little more difficult there. I'll tell you what might be an option is you go with another one of these cornerbacks they've got on the roster. And I tell you what, I was really impressed with DeMello Jones during the scrimmage that I saw during camp. Maybe you give DeMello Jones an opportunity. If during practice Harris and Robinson are not improving their ball skills, might have to have a conversation about giving DeMello Jones an opportunity to get out and play. Moving forward, this is going to be a big topic, not just against Alabama, but the rest of the season. Who's going to lay claim to that boundary corner spot opposite Everett? Harris and Robinson have got to improve if they're going to hold on to their playing time on that side of the field. So I believe that Georgia needs to run the ball effectively against Alabama, and then they can't give up these explosive plays in the passing game. And if they can do that, I think you'll see the Georgia Bulldogs winning this showdown against Alabama, as Coach O used to say. We're going to deep dive into this next week, a really deep dive into this Georgia and Alabama showdown. Just a little preview, a week ahead of schedule. That's going to do it for this Bucks Beat. We appreciate you hanging out, and we'll talk to you very soon.